I always say we're not here to negotiate justice. We're not here to talk about justice. We're not here for justice to be on the back burner. But we are here in this moment to demand justice and accountability for Andrew Brown. You know, though some may people be here for a storyline and some may be here for a headline, I think it's clear the fact that this is a reality for the family. This isn't some story that comes across the news as breaking news, but this is a reality for the family. And so I ask you continue to lift them in prayer as they continue to fight in the name of Andrew Brown. And you know, we need the Senate and state legislatures and local leaders to act. You were not elected for your sympathy. You were not elected for your thoughts. You were not elected for your prayers, but you were elected to make action. You were elected to legislate. And so we're calling on the Senate of the United States to pass the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. The other day, I visited, you know, both Republican and Democratic members in the House to visit the White House, encouraging them to pass this. We have to do more and push legislators to pass this. I encourage you to call your senators and tell them the importance of this legislation. We need to end qualified immunity. We need to end qualified immunity because we understand that officers should be held accountable. And so we're here, as I said before, to not ask for justice, to not negotiate justice, but we are here to demand justice. And I bring you greetings from Reverend Al Sharpton. He'll be here tomorrow, but he wanted to make sure that we were here representing to stand with the family and the community. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. Show me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. God bless you.
Thank you, Talik. We're coming back down south, just right over the way. Rocky Mount Black Action is in the place, y'all. Let's hear from Miss Sidney Meeks and Rocky Mount Black Action.
Thank you for allowing Rocky Mount Black Action to come and organize and protest with you all today. Rocky Mount Black Action, we are committed to bringing forth Black liberation, and we do that through equitable change in our community. And I just want to speak to the citizens of Elizabeth City. You all know what needs to be done in this city to bring forth justice for Andrew Brown. When we leave, y'all have to keep up this fight. And don't quit. And if you need us, call us, because we'll come. And to those that are speaking about various narratives, there's only one narrative here, and that's to release the tape. Not just 20 seconds of the tape, but the whole tape. Not a fabricated tape, not what agenda you want, but the real tape. Let's reveal the truth about what happened to their loved one, their family member. It's not about us, it's about the bigger picture of Black liberation. And when we're marching in these streets, and when we're saying no justice, no peace, and we're saying his name, we have to remember that it's not about our personal agendas. We have one narrative, and that's to release the tape. And Deputy Sheriff, shame on you. Release the tape. Release the tape. Release the tape. Thank you.
Y'all, let's hear it for Sidney Meeks. Rocky Mount Black Action. Come on, y'all, wake up, wake up, wake up. Elizabeth City, wake up, rise up. Black Lives Matter. I said Black Lives Matter. I said Black Lives Matter. Here to go to some people that have been standing out front, and rightfully so, for over a week now, making the appeal on behalf of the family for these tapes to be released. Some individuals that have literally risked their careers to fight for victims of civil injustice. I want you to show an Elizabeth City portion of respect for Attorney Daniels as he brings forth the Brown family. Y'all, let's give it up for Attorney Daniels and Mr. Wayne Kimball.
On behalf of the legal team, myself, Harry Daniels, Bakari Sellers, Wayne Kendall, and Sister Lashley, we stand in solidarity with the Brown family. I heard this young man talking about justice back here, and one of my favorite quotes from Dr. King is that the arc of the moral universe is long. You may have the tapes right now. You may want to redact it. The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. It bends towards justice. It may not be today. It may not be tomorrow. Justice will be had. Justice will be served. This legal team that's assembled is going to stay here on the ground, day in and day out. Let it be known, we open up the office here. We ain't going nowhere. We see this time and time again. I was asked by one of the reporters that after the George Chauvin verdict, how do you feel? I told him that's one. One of many, of no indictments. One of many not guilties by individuals who have killed and slain our brothers and sisters. So you must understand that you may be black, brown, or blue. But if Wayne cut my arm right here, I guarantee you it's red. I guarantee you it's red. Solidarity, unity. Because one day, you see, Andrew's good. He's good already. He's made it over. He made it over. We still have to make it over. What you do on this earth, legal, illegal, moral, or immoral, judgment will come. And judgment equals justice. Justice will be had. We love you. We see y'all guys marching in peace. The city officials are doing an outstanding job maintaining civil. Y'all doing an outstanding job. Outstanding job. The world is watching. Elizabeth City, keep marching. Keep marching. When you say no justice, no peace, we're not talking about violence. We're talking about your voices, your First Amendment right. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. Say his name. Andrew Brown. Thank you guys. We love y'all. I'm sorry. Here's Wayne Kendall.
Elizabeth City. No justice, no peace. You know, I read on the sheriff's website today that problems are caused by outside agitators. I'm a proud outside agitator. You know, Dr. King said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So even though I'm from Atlanta, the injustice that goes on here in Elizabeth City affects me and my family and everybody I love back in Atlanta. So I'm here, I flew up here today, I flew up here last week to make sure that the Brown family gets the justice that they deserve. And I say that advisedly because when you take a person's life, you really can't get justice. Justice is when a car goes down the street and wrecks into another car and somebody files a lawsuit or files a claim and they get paid for the damage to the car and they get paid for their pain and suffering. But this child will never see her father again. She will never have justice. We can only ask for transparency and accountability. And that's what we're here asking for, transparency and accountability. And I'm here to stand with the Brown family to see that transparency and accountability is had in Elizabeth City, North Carolina in 2021. That's all we ask for, transparency and accountability. We won't get justice because Andrew Brown will never walk the earth again. So there won't be any justice. There will only be transparency and accountability. And when I hear people say they want justice, I'm reminded that no, you won't get justice. The only thing you can ask for is transparency and accountability. Right now, we have neither, because we have a district attorney who is playing politics with people's lives. We have a district attorney yes, Andrew Womble, who is running for judge. He's running for judge right now. He announced his candidacy 2 days after Andrew Brown was murdered. So all of you who are non-voters, I say to you, do justice by Andrew Brown and going out and voting against Andrew Womble. Because he is the person that is standing in the way of transparency and accountability. He is the person that said that he did not want that tape released to this family when we had a hearing last week on Wednesday. He said that he did not think there was just cause to have this tape released. He said that one of the attorneys on our team, the only attorney that is a North Carolina licensed attorney, should be admonished and a bar complaint should be filed against her. So this is why lawyers in North Carolina probably aren't up here on this stage today, because they are intimidated. They are intimidated by people like Andrew Womble, a man running to be your next Superior Court judge. So all of you who have the ability to get out and vote, please, 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 do justice by Andrew Brown by voting against Andrew Womble. And Andrew Womble, my name is Wayne Kendall. My bar license is 414076 in Atlanta, Georgia. The State Bar of Georgia is low. I'll send you the address. So if you want to file a bar complaint against me, feel free. I'm not afraid. Thank you.
I want to hear from another powerful attorney. Some of you all had asked, is Graham in the house? Is Alamance County in the house? Oh, y'all know we've been fighting a battle in Alamance County. I want you to hear from the lead attorney along with Ben Crump that has been on the ground to free the Graham 12. Free the Graham 12. Free the Graham 12. We were maced, pepper sprayed, thrown, wrestled to the ground. Our elders, our disabled, and our children, our babies, were lying in the street with fire on their face. We were just 200 yards from our goal line. You might ask, where were we going? To the polls. And on October 31st, at the I Am Change March to the Polls, the world seen what 2020 voter suppression looks like. I want to introduce you to the lead attorney and activist. I know I'm in Elizabeth City, but we're both Aggies. Oh, wait a minute, Aggie Pride! Aggie Pride! I know we in y'all house. Viking Pride! You know, I'm rocking with y'all today. There might be a little expiration date right after Andrew Brown gets transparency, but we're gonna be Vikings right now. I want to introduce you to this amazing attorney that is making some change. Attorney Jason Keith, everybody.
First of all, I want to say thank you to Reverend Drumwright. And I would like to say, we have been fighting this battle for a while now. I don't know if you know, but me and Pastor Drumwright have already went to war on a couple of occasions with other situations, other counties in the same situation you are. We're accustomed to fighting. We're ready to fight. Pastor Drumwright would tell you, we want the smoke. We want the smoke. So it's telling that as a part of this situation, this circumstance, that we can bring any influence. I have told the legal team, and I'll tell the legal team again, I'm already working with Mr. Crump, Ben Crump, and Mr. Drumwright, and a whole other series of legal attorneys in these cases, that I will pledge my support with any legal team here in Elizabeth City. Anything you need, I will help and I'll provide it. I will be the North Carolina attorney that signs on to help out the cause. Because no justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. It's ironic that we stand at the courthouse today and we stand here and expect this court system in this county that refuses to provide transparency, that refuses to release the tape, and we ask you to trust us with our lives, to trust us with your cases, to trust us with your juries, to trust us with your judicial decisions. Now, the irony is that we stand here and we're in a county that understands that the nation is watching and they still haven't released the tapes. What do you have to hide? Release the tapes. Release the tapes. That's what the tapes are for, so they can be seen. Am I missing something? Now, I understand, and I would like to say, just give yourselves a round of applause for everybody coming out. Everybody coming out. You know, it was a group of us. We actually got on a bus about 6 o'clock this morning and drove from Graham and Greensboro. And we drove straight here, and it was great on the bus. We're singing hymns, and everybody's positive. And that's the environment that we're accustomed to experiencing. And when I look around and see a diverse crowd of black, white, all diversities, and it just makes me feel as though this fight, regardless of what happens, the nation is watching. And we gotta keep fighting. We can't back down. And one of the things that we've always talked about is racism, because it's a very simple slogan that says, erase the racism in our society. Where us as black people, that we are over-policed, where we are killed just for one thing, which is the color of our skin. It's a crime to be black in America. It's a crime. So I want to let you know that, and I'll tell it and I'll say it, and we have a lot of very intelligent and very influential people in this team. I will pledge my support. I'll do whatever I need to do. In addition to everything that's already going on, we want to thank you, the Brown family. The Brown family, we stand with you, we support you. I can't even imagine, but one thing I can say, any resources that we have, if I got to drive back next week, I'll do it. I would have been here last week, but I was in a jury trial. I promise you we'll stand with you. We love you. Thank you. Everybody, thank you for your support. The Brown family, we stand with you. And let's give a hand to Pastor Drumwright for putting this together. Let's give him a hand. It's not easy. There's a lot of emails and behind the scenes things that people don't see. And he's on the front lines in Graham. I don't know if you know it, but they tried to ban him from the city he grew up in. They said, don't come back. And so we had to go to war with him. And so he's been doing what he's doing now, which is mobilizing and bringing the news to the people. So let's give him a round of applause. But thank you for coming out. Thank you. I pledge my support. Thank you for hearing me. Jason Keith, thank you.
I heard that New Land has been showing out this week. Let's give it up for the people from New Land. Applying some new pressure. Blocking that bridge. Keeping the money where. Hitting them in the pocket. Power to the people. Matter of fact, the people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be where you at. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. Right now we're going to bring up those that we're here to stand with and provide our strength. for. We want to hear from this very humble family that's been dealing with pain. But today, we charge them to turn their pain into a purpose. Can you all please welcome members of Andrew Brown's family?
I was exhausted. Mentally, physically, and emotionally. So I'm gonna tell you a couple of things. Have a brother that is hurting. Have a sister that is hurting. Have a brother-in-law that is hurting. We have children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, great-nephew, cousins, aunts, uncles, hurting. A community hurting. Best friends hurting. Guess what, Elizabeth City? We are here. We are shining the light upon all of the injustices that has been carrying on here for years. I have been gone from this city for years. Not born, but raised in this city. And it's a shame that when I come back home, I hear the same conversations taking place that took place about the wrongness that was being done when I left. Electric bills, incarcerations, court cases, residents incarcerated and having to be treated as guilty until they can be prove themselves innocent. But we have people right now who are guilty and treated as being treated as innocent. There's something wrong here. Something very wrong. But we love you. Thank you for your support. We thank our legal team. We thank all the people from the city who has provided support. There's so many names, I can't even remember. But do know that we will fight a fight that has never been fought. We will get justice for Elizabeth City, North Carolina. We will get justice for Andrew Brown Jr. Thank y'all.
Come on, let's hear y'all for this family. Y'all not tired, are you? Just a few more speakers, but say his name. Let's give that Womble character some press. Because we got to make sure that there is no Supreme Court justice named Andrew Womble. Elizabeth City, make sure you let your community know who not to vote for. What's his name? What's his name? Somebody say, oh no, Womble, you got to go. Oh no, Womble, you got to go. Just a few more speakers and we are reaching the end. And we're going to hear from one of the generals of justice. Right now, we're going to hear from one of the patriarchs of justice. One of my mentors who stands very tall with the millennial community of activism and actionist leadership. One of the elders that continues to pour into young leaders. One of the elders that shares every platform he has with the next generation. So here, Elizabeth City, he hadn't just been in meetings. He's been in the street. I want you to show a lot of respect and a lot of love for the state of North Carolina NAACP President, Reverend Dr. T. Anthony Spearman.
Thank you, Reverend Drumright. To all of you, my beautiful and loving family, who have been standing by the side of this Brown family as they've endured the hardship that has befallen them. Keep standing with them and keep fighting for them. I am the Reverend Dr. T. Anthony Spearman, and I've come to say that we have come far beyond a time when we have to speak to one another in a coded manner. So let me be clear this afternoon. How can we say anything other than that policing black bodies in this country has become synonymous with killing black people? Those of us who are black and have any age on us know that for generations, as parents and children, have been given the lecture about how to survive in a traffic stop. We all know it. We've all heard it over and over and over again. When the police stop you, keep your hands on the steering wheel. Keep your eyes straight ahead. Answer the questions and say, yes, sir. But time has come for us to tell the truth. This conversation, this lecture that we have been giving to black children, mainly black males for generations, is no longer purposeful, no longer useful, because an extremely corrupt system has rejected us and marked us out as the enemy. And the system will not be satisfied until they bend us or destroy us. This system baits and berates us. This system exhausts and expels us. This system grips and grieves us. This system haunts and hates us. This system radicalizes and ravages us. It even terrorizes and traumatizes us. And if I'm honest, and the sad fact is that black people now know that the position of your hands has nothing to do with if you survive a traffic stop. The police that approach our vehicles are the deciders in chief. They are the masters of our fate and the captains of our souls. And this country, I said this country, continues to give them cover and immunity to keep right on killing us. We've had enough. And we stand here today saying, hell no, not on our watch. Andrew's hands were on the wheel. They were on the steering wheel. Hell no. The execution-style murder of Andrew Brown will not have an ellipse in history. We demand justice. And this fails squarely on the feet of the policing practices, not just of Pasquotank, but of policing all over this country and at the feet of politicians in Raleigh and Washington, D.C. Yes, we will continue to march peacefully, but we will also act courageously until new bills are introduced and policies are implemented that are liberating, equitable, and fair. If as many white folk were murdered as black folk, you know as well as I do that there would be an avalanche of legislation introduced to address the problem, and they wouldn't waste any time passing that legislation. But because America's tolerance is so high for black pain, we get nothing except 20-second clips from implicated judges that give us little to no insight to how these executions of our young, handsome black men continue. We would be naive to believe that this is not a systemic problem, but we don't see white men being shot down in the streets week after week, and yet it happens so often to black men that the media forces us to move so swiftly from one funeral to the next funeral that we don't have time to live. We don't have time to live. But live we must, my brothers. And live we must, my sisters. And love we must, my brothers. And love we must, my sisters. Because as the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. has said, returning hate for hate multiplies hate, adding deeper darkness to a night already devoid of stars. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. So as we stand here as a collective, yes, filled with outrage and fury, let us stand determined to drive out darkness with light and drive out hate with love. We are they who have withstood the pressurized fire hoses of white rage and the attack dogs of white hostility. But love, somebody say love. Love overcomes them all. I am T. Anthony Spearman, and I refuse to pretend that it is acceptable for policing agencies to go to white communities and provide protection for them, but turn right around and come to black communities and patrol us like we were mongrels and canine dogs. We will fight, but not like mongrels. We will fight, but not like thugs. It is our duty to fight. It is our duty to win. And we reject the notion that any state agency can kill Andrew Brown Jr. without justice being served. We will not have it on our watch. Thank you. And we will overcome evil with love. God bless you. Heaven smile upon you.
It's our state president, Dr. T. Anthony Spearman. I want you to hear from one of my brothers who's also an actionist, term that I've coined for activists that are also doing policy work. And he and I both serve under Governor Cooper's administration as we have called for black bodies that have been jailed and imprisoned unjustly to be pardoned, as we have called for the racial equity task force to deliver a change in policy. I want you to welcome right now to this platform from Emancipate NC, one of the most blazing upcoming voices in this movement here in North Carolina. Raleigh, are y'all here? Welcome, Kerwin Pittman.
Can I hear y'all repeat after me? Say people power. People power. People power. People power. Economic power. Economic power. Economic power. Political power. Political power. Revolutionary power. Revolutionary power. Revolutionary power. And when I say the term revolutionary power, know that I'm meaning a revolt. Revolt like our ancestors did over 400 and so odd years ago. Revolt against a system since the inception of this system have not been just and equitable for all. Revert against economic degradation, castration for our people and the most marginalized communities in North Carolina. Let me hear you say people power. People power. I ain't gonna take up too much of y'all time. I just want to come to bring y'all solutions that I feel like is best needed. Number one, it's gonna be unity. We got to have unity amongst each other. And I mean when all the smoke and mirror clears and this community is still left to mourn for the loss of their beloved loved one. We got to still stand with this community and stand with this family and be one with this family. But know and understand that it could be somebody in your family. It could be you. Let's never forget the unity and the tie that bind us all together. We're all human beings. The next one is litigation. Litigation. What I mean by that, I mean we must begin to hold these bad actors liable, civilly. Trust me, if you start to go after their assets, it will change the whole system of policing in this country. I promise you, if we get rid of qualified immunity that keeps us from going after their assets and holding them civilly liable, it is qualified immunity. And it's just one thing. And that goes into my next one. Legislation. We must put our people in position of power who we know are going to be just and equitable and fight for us even in these boardrooms, behind closed doors, in open spaces. Their messages must be the same. And it must remain the same. Organize behind these candidates. Run yourself. Because it's people power. People power. People power. People power. Next is education. If you don't know the law, how do you know how to defend yourself against the law? Now I'm not knocking no lawyers, right? And I ain't saying you gotta go to law school, but y'all, we gotta read up on some of these laws and what they passing. This is what's holding these bad actors from being held accountable for their unjust deeds. It's because of these laws. Who passed these laws? Legislation, the General Assembly. Not only for North Carolina, but in DC as well. We gotta educate ourselves. Y'all just don't know how many bills my team and myself has had to fight off and advocate against that they're trying to introduce right now. Right now, it's been a bill that was introduced. If law enforcement is running down the street, pretty much the gist of it. If law enforcement is running down the street and somebody runs by them and they outrun them and they see you and say, hey, grab that man, you gotta grab them or they're gonna try to charge you. Do you understand what I said? If you don't grab the person that's running from them, they're going to try to charge you with a charge. Right now. So we must educate ourselves. But most importantly, we must always stand in unity. Before I close out, let me hear this again. People power. People power. People power. People power. Political power. Political power. Economic power. Say it like you mean it. Economic power. Revolutionary power. Revolutionary power. Power to the people.
Let's give it up for Brother Kerwin Pittman. Emancipate NC. Y'all, we're here at the end. I'm going to bring on a daughter of the soil, has been serving Eastern North Carolina for nearly a decade in the North Carolina State Senate. She has been doing the work from the legislative floor that has helped make and bring change to black and brown people across this state. We owe her the respect. This is a sister's moment, y'all. What I love about her is she's not so political that she forgot about her purpose. She's not only been on the legislative floor, she's been in the streets all across North Carolina shouting Black Lives Matter. Let's hear it for Senator Erica Smith.
Release the tape. Release the tape. The real tape. The real tape. The whole tape. The whole tape. Release the tape. Release the tape. Say his name. Andrew Brown. Say his name. Andrew Brown. Say his name. Andrew Brown. I'm Erica Smith. I stand with you in solidarity. How long are we gonna allow unarmed black men and women to be shot down by the very ones who are supposed to protect them? We can't wait another day. I'm standing in solidarity with you today to introduce my friend, Pastor Gregory Drumright, who has been everywhere in this nation, standing for Black Lives Matter, standing in High Point for Fred Cox. Let's give his mother, Shannon, and parents, say his name, Fred Cox. Say his name. Fred Cox. He had to go to Kentucky and stand for Breonna Taylor. Say her name. Breonna Taylor. Say her name. Breonna Taylor. He went down to Georgia for Ahmaud Arbery. Say his name. Ahmaud Arbery. Say his name. Ahmaud Arbery. And he has been here in Elizabeth City for 12 days fighting for justice for Andrew Brown. Pastor Gregory Drumright is a service leader. He has been ranked by Essence Magazine as the top 40 under 40. He has won numerous national awards, statewide awards, and it was even coveted with the Old North State Award from Governor Roy Cooper for 20 years of service to the state of North Carolina. And as I stand with him today, I stand with you in solidarity. It is time for us to march, to pray, to walk, and demand for justice. I wouldn't be the Baptist preacher that God called me to be if I didn't give you a scripture. There was a giant named Goliath. And in 1 Samuel, they came and they were looking for somebody to take this giant on. And David went around his brothers. His brothers wanted to know, David, why are you here? And David asked the question, is there a cause? Well, David asked the question, but the son of David supplied the answer. And the book of John, chapter 18, verse 37, when Jesus stepped out after these unfair trials, the brother knew no wrong, but he was convicted and put on trial, and they sentenced him to death. But Jesus said, it's for this cause that I come. It's for this cause that we're gathered here on today. Anytime you can't even drive your car down the street and you can't even respond to a warrant, but instead you get shot 4 times in your arm and 1 time in the back of your head. It's for this cause that we got to gather today. It's for this cause. 12 years old, Tamir Rice, shot within 12 seconds. For this cause we got to gather on today. Anytime you can't sleep while black, Botham John. Anytime you can't walk while black, barbecue in a pit while black, and exist while black. Anytime we can't breathe while black, we gotta stand for this cause. Let's welcome this drum major for justice, who is answering for this cause. Put your hands together for my friend, the drum major for justice, Pastor Gregory Drumright.
Sisters is looking real good in this moment. Let's hear it for Sister Soldier herself, Erica Smith. The mayor said it's a state of emergency. Once again, just like in Graham, North Carolina, when we rolled into town, Dr. Barber, it was under a state of emergency. Black and brown folks know a whole lot about living under a state of emergency. See, that's not a warning for us. That's a reality for us. As black men have to hear from our mothers and our fathers, be safe when you get in your car. Call somebody when you see them blue lights. Just do what he said, even if you ain't doing nothing. Because our reality is that Andrew Brown was living under a state of emergency long before they killed him in his own yard. He was born into a state of emergency. And when we leave here tonight, we'll still be in a state of emergency. We don't need no political declarations over a state of emergency. What we need is an entire re-sanitization of this political system that has over-criminalized and over-policed black and brown bodies for all too long. White crime is normalized. Black crime is sensationalized. Andrew didn't have a gun. George Floyd didn't die because of a medical emergency. Breonna Taylor did not have any drugs in her house. Tamir Rice had water in that gun and not bullets. Ahmaud Arbery was jogging in his own neighborhood, not stealing from the houses and homes. What's going on is in fact a state of emergency. We okay with that, right? But you don't need to be declaring it to the people that's been in these streets. You need to declare it to the people that's been in these office buildings. You need to declare it to that sheriff's office. You need to declare it to the district attorney and the county attorney. You need to declare a state of emergency to the system of white supremacy that has kept its knee on our necks for all too long. You need to let them know your time is up. You need to let them know the people of Elizabeth City and those of us who are wrapping around Elizabeth City are not going to let the pressure up. You need to let them know after the funeral we ain't going nowhere. We're going to keep driving 4 hours from Greensboro, 5 hours from Charlotte and Durham and Raleigh. We're going to keep the pressure going. We're going to make sure that we keep our knee on your neck so that you will understand that you're about to go into cardiac arrest. If we don't get accountability, Martin Luther King says, he who passively accepts evil is as much involved in it as he who helps perpetuate it. I want to talk to the black city officials. Because there's some black commissioners too. Oh, y'all don't want to talk like that. I have respect for the police chief. I have respect for Chief Buffalo. I have respect for town manager Montre Freeman. They have stood with this activist movement ever since they first realized that they didn't know that Andrew Brown was dead, because they should have been the first to be notified that there needed to be a warrant served under their jurisdiction. There was a breach. See, you can be a black lawyer and still not get equal respect. You can be a black chief and still not get equal respect. You can be a black town manager and still not get equal respect. But I want to know to some of the city council, county commissioners, do Black Lives Matter to black folks?
Say a word, sir. Go ahead.
God has blessed me. God has favored me. But I was born in Section 8 apartments, Tucker Street apartments, Burlington, North Carolina. Our come up was a trailer park. I want you to know I came from the bottom, and even where we are, my mama said, baby, we still poor. Because we black in America. We ain't got our 40 acres and a mule yet. But I want to talk to the black county officials that have not said anything about Andrew Brown. We need some accountability from you too. Because surely the majority of black folks in Elizabeth City voted you into those offices. I want to talk to black folks that are turning on black folks. We cannot keep the pressure of Black Lives Matter on the white community and not keep the pressure up in our own community. We have to come together and stand with this family. We have to present a unified front. You may do it like this, I may do it like that, but we all want justice for Andrew Brown. I know it's COVID, but just look at your neighbor and say, do I matter to you? You mean to tell me we can't just talk to each other in these streets? Do Black Lives Matter to black people? It's important for us to stand unified in this moment. Our voting rights are being assaulted. That's the state of emergency. Mass incarceration has majority black and brown people in it across America. North Carolina is no exception. African Americans in North Carolina are incarcerated at a rate of 5 times more than the rate of our white counterparts. And to that point, if African Americans and Hispanics were incarcerated at the same rate as whites, do you know that our prison and jail populations would decline by almost 40%? There's a state of emergency going on in the criminal justice system. We are being prosecuted at a higher rate. We are being convicted at a higher rate. And people like Andrew Womble seek seat upon North Carolina's highest courts to keep this trend of mass incarcerating black and brown people up more than our white counterparts who commit the same crimes. Somebody say, hell no, you got to go. To our governor, you just received 125 recommendations from the Racial Equity Task Force to eradicate racism. You received 125 recommendations, Governor Cooper. 125 recommendations, Attorney General Josh Stein. 125 ways, Dr. Barber, that we can end this injustice in our criminal justice system. I don't know about you, but we don't need another recommendation. We need some emancipation. Somebody tell the governor, we need emancipation. Not another recommendation. And so in this providential moment, Prophet Isaiah talked about this providential moment. Prophets all in the Bible talked about this providential moment. Prophets in the Quran talked about this providential moment. This is a sign of the times. This is a sign where the people cannot let up the pressure. This is a sign that we are going to continue to apply pressure until we get the outcome that we deserve. In this moment, we will continue to shout Black Lives Matter. In front of the White House and at the outhouse, Black Lives Matter. We need the Senate to pass Senate Bill 510. And just in case you don't know what it is, Keith Rivers, Senate Bill 510 will make it a law that after 48 hours, any police and body cam footage must be released. It's time, it's past time. If you believe in Jesus, you believe in justice. If you believe in Muhammad, you believe in justice. If you're one of my Jewish friends and brothers, you believe in justice. If you don't believe in anything, you may be agnostic, but you out here standing with the Brown family, standing with this team, standing with these generals, then you also believe in justice. Elizabeth City, there's a storm out on the ocean, and it's moving this old way. And if your soul is not anchored in justice, you will surely drift away. What do we want? And when do we want it? What do we want? And when do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? Justice for the next generation. Justice for the next generation. We ready. We ready. We ready for change. Come on, everybody. We ready. We ready. We ready for change. A little louder, please. We ready. Come on, everybody. We ready. I don't hear y'all over there. For change. We ready. We ready. We ready for change. One more time, help me say, we ready. Say what, say what? We ready. We ready for change. Help me. Welcome to the stage a general that's been fighting for a long time and still ain't tired yet. A man of the pulpit and a man for the people. an educated man that has isolated himself from white supremacy and from the bigotry and bias of our today, to confront it with power, with peace, and with purpose. He is no stranger. This is his soil. I want you to help me to welcome him back to Elizabeth City, Bishop Dr. William Barber.
This is home. And we better be ready. I want to thank the lawyers, Attorney Daniels, Crumps, and Sellers. And I want you to know there are plenty of lawyers in North Carolina that will fight. Over the last 5 years, we fought and got 5 black men out of jail who had been put there on death row and life sentences. 5 of them. And we defeated the worst voter suppression law in the country. So we got lawyers here that will fight, and all we got to do is hook them up. Everybody with Daniels, Crump, and Sellers. I want to thank God for my brother Keith Rivers. We used to sleep on the same floor. When I came over here, my father would be working with his father back in the day in the old 1st Congressional District. I want to thank God for my brother, and who's followed me as president, the Reverend Dr. T. Anthony Spearman. I love him. I thank God for him. I thank God for Reverend Drumright, such a powerful and committed young man. Does my soul good. Thank God for Senator Erica, preacher and a politician, committed to justice. Now, before I say anything more, since they call me Bishop now, I want to ask you to stretch your hands out toward this family. Because at the end of the day, y'all, we here for them. Like being at a wedding. When you go to the wedding, you're not the couple. You're there to be a witness. And when you go to a funeral, it's not your funeral, you're there to support the family. So would you just take a minute and in your own way just pray for this family and the ones that are not here. I talked to Grandma the other day, and Grandma said she called him Drew. But some of y'all call him Junior. Am I right? Some call him Andrew. And I talked to your grandmama, she knew my daddy. Your aunts know my daddy. He's from Hyde County. That's where our folks come from. And she said, all this stuff here going on, Reverend Barber, but the Lord is with us. That's what Grandmama said. Amen. Stretch your hands and just pray for a moment. And then after you pray, I want you to look. We've been talking a lot about who's here. For the last 30 minutes, I couldn't keep my eye off of one person that's here. That's that baby you had. What's his name? Is it all right for him to come back? Carter. That's what ought to make us come together. Because I will be damned if when he's 18, he gonna have to face this same stuff. We must deal with it on our watch so that he doesn't have to watch it go down when he's old enough. So say, Carter, you are a prince and a king, and we're gonna fix this for you. All I want to do, I don't have a lot to say. I just want to keep it real. First of all, I'm moved by y'all. I don't normally be too vulnerable in public, but I couldn't be in the streets because when I got the call from Attorney Daniels, the family asked me to come down, part of the family, and then I got to meet the others. I had a hospital appointment, just getting back from Mississippi, Some of you all know that I've struggled for years, and literally I'm not supposed to walk according to some of the doctors. I'm not supposed to be able to walk. But God. And I had to go in and get some 7-inch needles stuck in my right knee. So I postponed it to come down Saturday, and then came down for the preachers, but I had to go back, otherwise I'd be right there. But Greg called me, and some others called me and said, Reverend Barber, you know, it's all right to be an elder. We got it. He said, would you just come? I said, Greg, I can't march. I feel bad about it because I'm used to, you know, walking with everybody, and I can't do it now. I gotta get this knee under control, and this disease is trying to come back. He said, no. We'll walk for you. He said, I'll be your legs, but would you just come and stand on the stage and be a gentleman? And I'm telling y'all don't know, I'm about to cry really, to see all these young folk and black and white and brown and Asian and young and old and gay and straight that's here. This is the coalition that injustice fears. Give me a little mic, man. Give me a little volume. I've been trying to do this for 42 years. My father in the 1960s and 70s was fighting against a sheriff in Hyde County that thought every few years he ought to kill some black person. I was born here in Eastern North Carolina. Know what it's like to have the Klan burn crosses out in front of your yard. I can remember, Keith, when my daddy used to have to get in the car and then lay down in the floorboard and drive and cross county and then switch cars in order to go stand with folk in certain communities. It was, you may not know it, but Elizabeth City State was the place in 1968 and 69 where white and black people came clandestine, undercover. They met on the campus, black and white folk, getting ready for integration. I'm so glad to see you. God knows I'm glad to see you. Because every Moses loves to see Joshua. And real Moseses don't wait till they're dead to see Joshua. Real Moseses want to see Joshua while they're still living and support Joshua while they're still living. So I'm glad before I took my last breath, you all let me see the Joshua generation. I just came to keep it real. There's no reason to take this long to see tapes. No reason. First of all, they've seen them. God has seen them. And they know the truth. And their girlfriends know the truth. And their mamas know the truth. Because they've told somebody. It's taken how many days? What's this, the 12th day? 14th day? What's the 12th day? 14th day? Somebody said 12, 14, 12. This the 12th day. Lord, the Lord made the world in 7. The whole world in 7. And you can't see some tapes for 12 days? Somebody count with me. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's all we get. It's been 288 days. 228 days, 228 hours, excuse me. 288 hours. 288 hours, 12 times 24, 288 hours. And we get 20 seconds? And it's not even to everybody, just to a few family members? Let me tell you what that is. That is cruel and unusual punishment to this. In Ohio, they got them in 2 hours. The audio is public record. The tape should be public record. The sheriff lied. No, I ain't no scared person. He lied on national TV and said, well, I'm waiting for the SBI. Then the SBI said, no, don't put that on us. No, the SBI, the State Bureau, they say, The DA, judge, sheriff, they are all inept, incompetent, and incapable. Capable of dealing with this release the tapes. That's why we need a special prosecutor. When the Duke Lacrosse case went on, they got a special prosecutor. Andrew Brown needs a special prosecutor. See, I'm old enough to remember. Now we have the moral high ground. And we are, and we will be nonviolent. But I got to teach a little bit about this nonviolent thing. Nonviolent does not mean you're not angry. Nonviolent does not mean you're not hurt. Nonviolent does not mean you're not agitated. Nonviolent means you're tired, but you're not so tired you will take on the actions of your enemy because you refuse to fight what you fight like they fight and mess around and become like them. We're tired seeing our men with these strange markings on their tombstone when the birth date and the death date are too close together. Tired. Tired of seeing mamas shot down in the prime of their life. Tired of seeing children killed. Tired of air fresheners leading to death. Selling cigarettes leading to death. Tired. Tired. And we know we're tired of those who say they want law and order, but they keep providing us unequal order. A badge and a gun and authority in my name. Let me say this and why you got to march. See, every time a cop kills somebody unarmed, they do it in your name. You don't think about that. When you go to the court, it says the state of North Carolina versus. That's you. That means that if we don't stop it, we're allowing them in our name. And a badge and a gun is too much power for a bigot. It's too much power for a racist. And it's too much power for somebody that's trigger happy. There's a boy over in Virginia Beach. He was black and got shot by a black cop. No body camera. But it don't matter if you white and caught up in the system or if you black and caught up in the system. We gonna still change the system. A cop or a policeman is the only person I know, Brown family, the only person I know that can come to my house with a piece of paper, say that my wife's name is on it, my son's name is on it, and take one of them out and I say, baby, I'll see you when I get downtown. The only person that and I'm nonviolent. You don't understand, I'm nonviolent. But you ain't gonna just come in my house and walk out. The only person that can walk out of my house with my family is somebody with a badge and a gun and a piece of paper. And that's too much power for a racist. Andrew Brown, let us not let America forget, was a man. Your daddy, Khalil, was a man. I'm gonna talk a little bit tomorrow about what that name means. He was a son, he's a brother, he's a nephew, he's a father, 42 years old. So we are non-violent, but make no mistake, we're not non-angry, we're not non-hurt, and we're not non-committed. Because there comes a time when people get tired. We want and we demand and we will have truth, transparency, accountability. And when the truth and the transparency shows that police executed or murdered or killed someone, we want arrest. We want prosecution. We want prison. We want payment. And we want the federal government to investigate for pattern and practices. Because what gave you the idea in the first place you could kill one of us with impunity? Let's keep it real. We will settle for no less. Because we keep it real, I come by lastly to say, this ain't quitting time. This is standing time. On tomorrow, we will lay Andrew to rest, but we can't rest. Oh, no. We're going to lay him to rest, but we can't rest. We can't rest until the George Floyd bill is passed. We can't rest until North Carolina passes the law that says that the body cameras must be made available in 48 hours. We can't rest until the Attorney General can take a case from a local DA when the local DA is inept, incompetent, and incapable. Oh, we can't rest until justice comes. We can't rest, let me keep it real. This is not quitting time, this is standing time. Somebody say standing time. Standing time. Look at your neighbor, I know it's COVID, but say standing time. Standing time. We've got to stand until the death cease. We've got to stand until a police person is scared to take the life of one of ours. We've got to stand. Let me keep it real. We can't rest. We can't rest until it's unlawful for you to use a badge as a cover-up for killing. A warrant is not a license to kill. You don't get to sentence nobody to death, to the death penalty. You can protect and serve, but you can no longer kill and destroy. We can't rest. We got to protest. And we will protest. We will keep on until policing that kills and murders and executes is over. Look at your neighbor and say, keep it real. I'm out here till change comes. Turn to another neighbor and say, keep it real. You can't rest until change comes. Now, I told y'all I was old school. And I know you young folk, y'all got a bunch of, whole lot of stuff and music that you play. But I want you to know, in my day, oh good God from Zion, I could drop it with the best of them. And back in the day, we used to party with a purpose. We used to sing with substance. We used to stand and carry on at the same time. And we said, you know what? Every
Thank you everybody for watching. And so they're wrapping up, in fact. But so I'll show the end of it since they've got the music before I cut the feed.
Everybody say, show the whole thing. Got to give the people where my choir at. Show the whole thing. Everybody say, show the whole thing. Got to give the people what they want. Show the whole thing. Everybody. Show the whole thing. Say it again, y'all. Show the whole thing. Little louder, y'all. Show the whole thing. Everybody say. Show the whole thing. Out loud say. Show the whole thing. Fist up say. Show the whole thing. Everybody say. Show the whole thing. Show the whole thing. Show the whole thing. Say Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Everybody say Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Everybody, the people united will never be defeated. Say the people united will never be defeated. Say the people united will never be defeated. Say the people united will never be defeated. Let's do this one more time. We ready. We ready. We ready for. Come on, AA for Jay's hey. Justice for the next generation. Emancipate NC. Rocky Mount Black Action. NAACP. We ready. We ready for a change. Y'all sound real good. We ready. Be out watching. Watch it, be out watching. For a change. Drop that beat. Come on, one more time. We ready. We ready.